right. It is playoff time, boys and girls. That moment you've been waiting for. That's why we have the different intro. Welcome, your host, the Commish. Here live in my room, still on quarantine, as you can see. And well. Looks like no real drama shook out last week, but it does look like the insufferable John Dahlgren, has made it in by beating me last week. Let's just go ahead and get to the scoreboard and see what's going on for the playoffs, implications, who's in, who's out, and who's in the HoffaBowl. So let's quickly go to the scoreboard from last week. There you see the score, 203 to 183. A big win for John Dahlgren. Needed that badly as he got 45 points out of Josh Allen, the trade that happened earlier this season. Look at that. New World of Creek. He takes down Modelo Virus, putting him in the HoffaBowl bracket. Plow with a final strong showing there towards the end. The defending champ gets his 9th win. That's back-to-back 9-win seasons for Austin Stoll after winning the Hoffa 2 seasons ago, taking on potential Hoffa winner Nick Shook. He beat him 140-118. First down syndrome finally gets a win. Rebounds big, 163-133 over Mick's team. And Alan Nesson goes down, misses the playoffs thanks to Lamb of Godwin also rebounding. His highest scoring player was Joe Schobert, the linebacker. That's amazing. He had a really big game. In 2020, holy cow, big games. You notice 2 teams here scored over 200 points. 2020 with 218 to 144 with the Snatch Pounders, putting them in Hoffa contention as well. Those are some scary teams to face. So let's go to it. Let's see the playoff bracket here. Standings don't matter anymore. We are now thick in the playoffs. The first round will be John Dahlgren taking on Abalash Reddy's Lamb of Godwin. We're going to review that game. And also First Down Syndrome taking on 2020, scorching hot after last week. And let me tell you, these projections are not even close for these games. But hey, why don't we check out the HoffaBowl real quick, because we don't want to forget those guys. So here's your final 4 in contention for the Hoffa. There's the Indy Snatch Pounders taking on Mick, opposite of Adam Gaze. And there he is, Sons of Shane Falco, Nick Shook, taking on Jabel Soul, who unfortunately had a big showing, too little too late here at the end of the season. The losers of each of those games will go on to meet each other in the HoffaBowl. So let's talk about the first round. So again, the scariest teams here on the season late, as both the top 3 teams start to slide, minus Dak Street Boys. John Dahlgren's team looks pretty solid. A big win last week. And this is going to be a really, really tough game for Abby to overcome. Let's take a look here at the matchups. Tom Brady rocking it in the starting position. There is a potential. Tom Brady does have a low floor this season. He could put up 30 or he could put up 10. That's the kind of season it's been. But he has been fully relying on Devontae Adams and Derrick Henry, who was a disappointment last week, but he's going to bounce back. My biggest factor here for Dahlgren is in the flex there. Will Duke Johnson produce for Houston going against that Chicago Bears defense? Now let's take a look at Abalash's playoff roster here. Going with Justin Herbert, the quarterback, that is a good play for him taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Juju has been up or down this season. He's obviously not as strong as Devontae Adams on the other side, but he backs him up with DeAndre Hopkins as opposed to Chris Godwin for Dahlgren. Now the running back situation is going to be interesting. Can Gallman stay in the lead running back spot? And will Chase Edmonds also get most of the targets? And Amari Cooper, he seemed to be pretty fantasy football proof with the whole quarterback situation in Dallas. I like that flex play better than I like the Duke Johnson play. However, just how things have shooken out for the last few weeks, I hate to say it, I think Dahlgren takes this one. I really think Derrick Henry is going to have a monster game against the Jaguars. I think that is his key to victory over Abalash. And unfortunately, I think John Dahlgren will move on and defeat Abalash Reddy. This is like my worst nightmare coming true. It's like Christian McCaffrey trying to get on the field. It's just not going to happen. Okay, let's go to the next playoff. This is probably the game to watch this week. 2020 scorching hot, coming off a big win, taking on Jason Servos, who finally bounces back and gets a W. Man, this is another big projection for 2020. Let's check out his playoff roster, and it starts with Aaron Rodgers and Dalvin Cook. My goodness, what a deadly combination. Joe's running backs have been money for him all year, and that's the three-headed monster of Cook, Aaron Jones, and Kareem Hunt. Dalvin Cook is going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have a pretty good defense, but they're known to give up some points. And Aaron Rodgers, he's still on that revenge tour. He's got the better quarterback play, in my opinion, than we look at Jason's roster here. Kyler Murray in the starting position, projected to score 27 points. Now, the running back situation for Servos, he does have, again, one of the best players in all of fantasy, Alvin Kamara. He's going to be his key to victory. But here's my X factor for Jason. Can Swift for the Lions sustain a 15-point output to counteract Kareem Hunt, who is on Joe's team in the flex? There's pretty much an even matchup on both sides, but the edge is definitely on Joe's side. The matchups are there, the players are there, and I just see Joe winning this one pretty big. I think Kyler Murray's still going to have a good game. I think Jason gets about 170, but I'm taking Joe this week. 190, 170 sounds about right. And boy, like I said early on, those are two teams you do not want to face in the playoffs, especially as of late. So they will take on the lower seed, will take on me, and the higher seed will take on Austin. Wait, yes. The lower seed will take on me, the higher seed will take on Austin for the semifinals. Now let's move over to the deliciously awesome HoffaBowl. That's right, I didn't forget about you. Let's look at Dave McCready, the Indy Snatch Pounders, taking on Mick, opposite of Adam Gaze. You know what? We're just gonna call this one. No need to look at their roster. It's really just don't lose. And I think Mick is going to lose. That's right. I am picking Mick to lose. I think McCready wins this one in an upset and sends Mick to the HoffaBowl, because that's all I want. I want a Mick HoffaBowl. That would make me happy. So the next matchup here, Sons of Shane Balco versus Modelo Virus. It's Nick all the way. It's just he's got a spot in his new house for the Hoffa Trophy. It just seems too perfect to be true. So that's right. I'm calling it right now. A Mick and Nick HoffaBowl, which I think Mick predicted back on the Halloween episode. Who would have known that his special powers really worked? So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's the rundown for this week. Short and sweet. Hopefully next week for the semifinals and finals, I'll get some special guests on. But tune in next week for the semifinal and HoffaBowl preview. But good luck to all of you out there in internet land. See you next week. Oh, I forgot to press record. No, I didn't.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.